did not let up.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is a big exciting one. I'm trying to get the motor, trans, and Atlas in the Jeep for the final time. I've had them in and out a million times for a bunch of different reasons, but now I think everything's finally done and ready, and we can actually, you know, get the clutch and everything on and get mounts made. So I already have motor mounts. Done, but I don't have a trans mount or an Atlas mount. The Atlas is really heavy, so you kind of need two. So I do have two new bushings here, so we'll be making mounts for those. And I need to get the clutch and the flywheel and everything bolted up to the motor, and then get the trans on. So I've had that on, but I haven't had it all on together, so it's kind of a hodgepodge of parts. So I'm not sure if it's all gonna work. In theory, it should. You know, it's a 2002 5.3. This is a GM NV3500 out of like a early 90s K1500. I'm running a clutch and a flywheel from like a 2000s Silverado that came out with a 4.8, and then pilot bearing right here. This is for the K1500. So there's a whole bunch of different hodgepodge of parts that I am trying to mix all together, and if my research is right, it should all work, so fingers crossed. But the first thing that needs to be done is this input shaft is pretty gross, and everything in here is all gross too, as you can see, as well as the shift fork. So this is disgusting. So I want to try and clean all this up as best I can, re-grease some things, get the new pilot on, and then we can get the engine off the engine stand and start looking at clutch and flywheel stuff. All right, so I have that pretty much clean. One other thing that I want to do is the old throwout bearing was kind of seized on here. I had to like massage it off with a hammer, and I can feel a little bit of wear or, you know, just gunk on here that didn't come off. So I'm gonna hit it with some like 120 grit sandpaper really lightly and try and smooth this out a bit. And then I'll go through and re-grease this, as well as the input here and everything. Just trying to make it all play nice. You notice I didn't really clean the whole bell housing. I didn't really feel it was necessary. I'm only trying to clean the stuff that moves, and you know, I want to re-grease stuff that matters. So. All right, so now that that's all done, I'm going to take some just high temp marine grease here, and I'm going to lightly grease the pilot here and where the throwout bearing goes, as well as the little like pivot ball and the pivot ball cups on the shift fork. I'm not going to grease the throwout bearing too much, maybe a little bit, just, you know, run my finger through it, but I'm not trying to grease the whole thing up and get grease on my clutch and stuff. So just the main parts here that I'm moving, since I hit everything with brake clean, get it all ready and lubed up. Alright, let's try that. Hey, that fits a little better. that's how that's supposed to work. That thing wouldn't even move before. All right, I'm liking this so far. I got my little cap on and this all just moves so nicely now. It's great. So the next thing is to get the motor off the motor mount or motor stand here and get it on the cherry picker, and then we can get to the clutch and flywheel because we can't do that with it on the stand. It's got, you know, we got to screw it in right there. So. All right, so now that the engine's hanging by the cherry picker, I have access to the crank here. I need to clean this with some brake clean inside and out. I need to tap in my pilot bearing, and then I need to look up the torque specs for the flywheel bolts because I don't really remember what they are. I did have to order these online, which I was shocked about. I looked everywhere for them, and they are a really weird, does it say on the box? No. I looked everywhere for them and they just do not exist at like your typical bolt hardware store. They're a metric 11, which everyone just goes from 10 to 12. So I mean, I went everywhere and couldn't find them. So I had to order them online. Everyone tries to get you to buy the ARP ones for like, I don't even know, 40 bucks for 6 bolts, which is ridiculous. But I managed to find some on Amazon. They had good reviews. They were like 15 bucks. We'll give them a shot. All right, this is all nice and clean now. I've got my pilot bearing. I'm honestly not sure which way this goes in. It is directional because there's a little rib there you can see. Other than that, both the faces are exactly the same. So I'm not sure. I'm just gonna take a guess and put it in this way. And I'm gonna tap it on in with a socket here. I got a socket that's about the right size, so I'll just tap, tap, taparoo. Again, this is a pilot bearing out of a, it was a 2002, 2001 Chevy Silverado with a 4.8. And it looks like it's gonna fit just nice. And I did already test that it fits over the input shaft. Nice and perfect. So, should be dialed, hopefully. I'll just tap that guy on, and then we'll get our flywheel on. All right, so now I've punched that in till it's nice and flush, looks good. I'm gonna wipe the flywheel down with some brake clean, and then we'll finger tighten all of the starting bolts. All right, so I finger tightened all of these, and now the only reason I did that was just to hold it on here. So now I'm gonna take them all back off one at a time. And I'm going to coat the tip with black RTV and the rest of it with a little bit of red Loctite. And then I'll put them all back in. And the reason for that is these are actually like oil filled. And if you don't do that, it'll leak oil. So you need to RTV it. And red Loctite's always a good thing. So I'm gonna do that and then go around them all in a circle. I think the first torque spec's what, 15? Yeah, 15 foot-pounds. And then there's 2 more up to like 70 something. So go ahead and do those torque specs really quick and get this all done. All right, they're all torqued down. It's also maybe something to note that you can do this little hack here. Screw a bolt into the block and one into the flywheel for the clutch, and tie it down with a wrench, because the last torque spec's like 74 foot-pounds, and so it's definitely going to want to turn the motor over. So you can just do that to kind of help prevent that. With that, this probably needs to be wiped down again because I was touching it, and then the clutch can go on. All right, so next is the clutch. You're gonna put the friction disc on the alignment tool, slide it on in there. Flat side goes towards the flywheel, obviously. If you can find the hole. There she goes. So then that can just stay there. As for the pressure plate, there is some little dowels to help you align it. And then we're gonna put a little bit of blue Loctite on each one of these bolts, and torque them all in a star pattern. There's like 4 or 5 different steps as far as the torque specs go. You can look that up. But make sure to pull the alignment tool in and out, like pretty much after every set, because you want to be moving that and letting this all shift, because otherwise you'll torque it down and it'll be off to one side and it won't come out, and then you're going to fight the input shaft and the trans trying to go in. So this should be able to slide in and out nice and easy the whole time. Oh my, this. Oh. All right, so as you can see, the clutch is now on, and the key thing to note is this alignment tool still slides in and out nice and easy. That's key. If you can't do that, you need to go back and loosen everything back up and get it to where you can move it, and keep moving it as you torque everything down. Cool. Dude, it freaking fits.
Hell yeah.
No way. Right on.
That's what we like to see.
Okay, now I want to pull all those back out and put blue Loctite on them, just because that one trip to the dunes, I had all of those come loose.
Oh, wasn't that the problem you guys had?
Yeah, so now I'm traumatized. I was pretty surprised. Or the other option was show up. Oh, shoot, we need to put the Jeep down first.
God damn it.
Totally forgot about that.
That was probably...
All right, it's the next day, and look at this, guys. We have an LS mounted in the chassis. I am so excited. It looks amazing. I really like the clean motor and the red. And then on top of that, I didn't really film this part, but we did get the Atlas on as well. I'll pull up a little picture of how we do that. We basically have a cherry picker through the window. Because it's so damn heavy. You can use a tranny jack for that, which is how I'll put it in once the tunnel's all built, but I don't have one, so for now we'll just use the cherry picker. But yeah, it's all in here, really high and tight, as you can see. We're gonna have quite a bit of sheet metal work to do, but yeah, I'm really excited. It looks great. Looks really good. I also really like the silver tube work now up against the black. That came out a lot better than I thought it would, because this used to be black, I don't know if you guys remember, and now it's all silver to match the rest of the tube work. But yeah, I really like how if you just kind of peek under, you can see the headers and the red valve covers. Just looks really good. So the next thing to do is take these bushings that I have, and we basically need to make one for the trans mount, and I have another one for the Atlas mount. With the Atlas one's going to be a little tricky because there's not really anything to mount it to, but I see online that a couple companies make ones that basically clamp over this tail housing little edge right here, and then they have a bushing underneath it like that. But they charge absurd amounts of money for that, and I'm like, I think I can make that. So I think that's the plan. I'm going to make a trans mount first, and then I'm going to try and make a T-case mount. But I think that's going to be it for this video. We're probably going to do all the rest of that on the next video. So thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.